Should you really bother with sets outside of the main brands like Lego and potentially Cada, although they've been coming under fire recently as well? Should you invest your money in MOC sets from designers that are unknown, that have got serious amounts of talent, probably more in their little finger than I've got in my entire body? And what do you think about the whole theft conversation? Designers that are accusing big organisations of stealing their designs for mass production and giving them no recognition, no reward, no commission scheme, almost just dismissing the fact they even exist. Is it as bad as they're making out? Who is really to blame? And are there some decent resellers, decent brands, being caught up in the middle? In this video, I want to talk to you about this particular set, among other things. This is a BMW M4 from a company called BAV. I'm about 70% of the way through, and as you'll find out later in the video, this is arguably one of the best sets I've ever built. We'll talk about the theft issue in a lot more detail, and a conversation that I've been having recently with someone on Instagram that will shed a little bit more light on the subject. And then finally, I'll tell you whether I think you should confidently invest your money in alternative brands outside of the big one or two. Okay, so the theft thing. When I first got delivered this set from BAV about a month or so ago, I dropped a video on my shorts channel, so Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And on the Instagram one, a guy reached out to me and said, "You do realise that's my design you're promoting there, and that BAV, which is the company I work with that send me these sets, they've also sent me a 110 scale Apollo drift car, which is absolutely awesome. The best RC brick set I've ever built, and the Pagani Huayra BC, which was an absolute monster of a build. Looks awesome though. But anyway, I digress. They sent me this set and I dropped it on my shorts. And this guy called MOC Lego, that's his Instagram handle, fantastic designer. If you don't follow him, I suggest that you do. If you're into your cars, he is an absolute must to add to your follower list. He contacted me and said, "You realise that BAV stole that design?" And I kind of went back to him and thought, that doesn't sound like them. That doesn't sound like the people that I deal with. BAV are a fairly young brand trying to make their name in the marketplace, hence why they reached out to me when I was a very small creator with 4,000 or 5,000 followers on TikTok at the time. So I contacted BAV and I said, "I've had this message from a designer on Instagram, and they are saying that this particular BMW set that you're selling was originally their design, their concept." They came back to me and said, "No, we actually buy that product from a company called J-Star or Raystar. J-Star, I think it is. And that is part of BAV's business model. They are a designer and manufacturer of their own sets. The Apollo 110 scale is an example of that. They collaborate with a number of designers. They also do some colour change options for some of those sets, which is what this is. This originally started life as a white M4 covered in stickers, and they sent me the matte black option, which is very stealthy. But then they also, to bulk out their collection, they sell some items that they've bought in from bigger wholesalers. No problem with that. Perfectly legitimate business model." I then said to him, "I've done a bit of research and it comes from another wholesaler called J-Star. Do you have a partnership with them?" Maybe that was us getting to the bottom of the problem very quickly. And he said to me, "No, I don't. They approached me a couple of years ago asking to buy the rights for my designs, and when I gave them my terms, and all I wanted was a small upfront fee for the rights to a handful of my products and a 5% commission on each sale," which I thought was pretty reasonable. Well, they turned him down and said, "No thanks." Next thing he knows, they're producing sets of a similar nature to his. Maybe they've got hold of the instructions on other sites that he's partnered with, maybe Rebrickable, and now they're producing those sets for mass production, which is annoying. And it's very much in the same mould of the Temu and Ali-Express of this world, who blatantly go and steal designs from Rebrickable, mass produce them, sell them for cheap, don't give any recognition to the designers, no kickbacks, no commissions. And obviously that's why I think a lot of people have probably got big issues with the likes of those two big organisations. But on this occasion, I struggled to find where BAV had done wrong, because They bought the product in good faith from J-Star, who should have been in collaboration with the particular designer. On this occasion it was MOC Lego, and they weren't, so they'd kind of done it a little bit underhand. But, and here's the debate for me, this isn't the same as MOC Lego's BMW M4. There are a lot of custom parts on this which differentiate it from that set. So you could argue that any brickmaker in the world could go out and buy and build an M4. An M4 isn't a particularly rare car. It's not something that no one can go out and build. So just because one person designs one doesn't necessarily mean that no one else can go out and take inspiration from that design but make it their own without it being shady or immoral. So it's a big debate. And it's open for interpretation. I'm sure that you'll give me some suggestions in the comments as to how you perceive it. A lot of people that are trying to get sets like this, which is hugely detailed, very much more detailed than you'd ever get from Lego at this stage, couldn't give a monkeys where it comes from. They couldn't give a monkeys where the design was taken from. They just want the set and they want to pay the minimum price for it. But I get both arguments. So I don't think BAV have, on this occasion, have done anything wrong. I think they are an ethical brand from what I know of them. I've given them a lot of support and advice over the last month or so about their customer experience, how to earn trust, because as a young brand, that's what you have to do to differentiate yourself from the competitors who perhaps aren't doing enough to earn that trust. They're running their whole model on low price, which eventually catches up with you, I think. Tell me your thoughts on the whole design theft debate. Do you think it's clear cut? Do you think there's a lot more layers to it? Would you still buy something even though you knew it was something that had been stolen from another designer? I'm interested to know, see what the general consensus is. This set, and it's important that we talk about this set, because this is a special set to me because I am a massive BMW fan. I've got a 29-year-old BMW out on my driveway. It's my pride and joy. Obviously, it doesn't get used every day, but I am very much a BMW man. And when I saw this set, I thought, do you know what? That is a bit of me. Lego are never going to produce something like this, so I want to go for it. I want this on my display. In terms of its complexity, in terms of its attention to detail, the interior, cockpit, the straight six engine, which actually I've never actually built on any Technic set over all these years. I've never built a straight six engine of a BMW in Technic form, which was quite nice. The detail around the front lights, the way that it's constructed and the strength of this thing is quite impressive. MOC sets or sets outside of Lego and Cada in the past have actually been quite weak, where they've tried to create the unique shapes of the production model. They come up short, but with this they've managed to find a way to not, and it's extremely strong, extremely robust. Obviously, as you can see, I'm not complete. I'm about 70% of the way through, but it's a phenomenal set. It's a 4,500 piece set for very good money. And is it as clinical and clean on the finishing touches? No. It's 90 to 95% there versus, say, Lego. Some of the pins are a little bit tighter to get in than you would like. But when you can get your dream car, if you like, the car that you really want to produce in brick form, and you can get it for a decent price, they're the sort of things you put up with. Because when I say 90 to 95% of this set is as good as the market leaders, I'm not joking. And when you've got those sort of ratios, you put up with the odd thing here and there that isn't quite 100%. When it comes to brands outside of our big two in general, do I recommend that you give them a go? Well, yeah, because actually before I started these channels, I didn't know that any existed. I thought literally Lego was it. I thought Lego had the monopoly and everyone else was just Ali-Express, Temu and nothing. But I've since found out that that's really not the case. BAV, who send me this set and have sent me two others, and they're sending me two more, which will hopefully arrive before Christmas, are what I would call a multi-function company. They do it all. They make stuff, they collaborate with designers, and they sell other stuff that you can buy elsewhere. And I'm hoping that if they listen to my advice about customer experience, that they'll do more to immerse you in their world in 2026. But I've never had a problem with them. I think the sets that they produce are incredible, incredibly well put together. And as I say, if you want something that you're never going to get from Lego, a set that is your dream set, the dream car that you've always wanted to own, that you're never going to get close to in life, and this is the closest you'll ever get, then you need to look outside of the big brands and go for designs like this. For me, I'm glad I'm now in collaboration with BAV as a brand. I'm glad I'm now speaking to the designers, because I want to do more to recognise these guys and the talent that they have. But I would love to know where you all stand on the theft of designs debate. Do you blame these big organisations for getting hold of plans and designs from companies like Rebrickable and mass producing? Do you blame them for not wanting to give commission back to the designers? Do you think it's unethical? Do you think they should? Do you think that it would help them stand out from a trust perspective if they did? Because that's kind of where I stand. Let me know. And then jump on the BAV website and have a little look for yourself. I think you might be quite pleased with what you see. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. See you soon.